In this intense bond hearing from the 23rd District Court in Taylor, Michigan, James Crawley stands accused of violating a protection order by allegedly using someone else to send a threatening message. As tensions rise, the courtroom quickly turns hostile, with the defense attorney, prosecutor, and witness all clashing in front of Judge James Kersten. Let's take a look.
(5-0334) SM People versus James Crowley. Hi, you're James Crowley?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and today is the date scheduled for a
There is witnesses report.
trial.
Oh. Yes.
And this is a prosecutor's requesting an adjournment on the case. We're going to and your attorney has agreed to that. So we're going to adjourn your pretrial conference. Will we send out a notice or will we get that today?
For
Crowley?
they will send a notice, yes.
Mr. Crowley, a new notice will be sent to you. Are you on Hunt Street?
Negative, Your Honor.
Is that your address or no?
No, Your Honor.
Did you give a new address to the check-in clerk when you checked in?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay, perfect. We have it then.
Okay. All right. Yeah, your bond is continued. It's like a $2,000 personal bond, same bond conditions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have questions?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you.
All right,
Judge,
thank you, Your Honor.
Wait, hold on a minute.
we have complaining witnesses here for this case. The complaining witnesses are in the courtroom.
Oh. All right. Yeah. So this is on James Crowley. And I understand the complaining witnesses in the courtroom on Crowley. So we're going to adjourn. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Jennifer Ashby.
Okay, so I've got a note from the prosecutor to adjourn this case for another date.
Yes.
So we're gonna reset it for another date. That notice will be sent out. I don't have the date today, though. You can probably go down to the clerks and get that date.
Thank you.
Do you have questions?
No, I just want to make sure that the no contact is in order.
The bond is continued and it was previously a no contact provision.
That was broken.
It was broken?
Yeah. That's why we're adjourning. That those documents can make it up to the court system so that we.
Well, we need to have the prosecutor address this then.
That's what.
Stay on the line, Mr. Crowley. We'll need your attorney back and we'll need the prosecutor. So just have a seat for a moment now.
Morning, Your Honor, Nora Alloway on behalf of the people.
All right, well, good morning. And why don't you step forward? Oh, we're gonna need Mr. Crowley's attorney here as well.
I believe it's Mr. Kazicki.
Okay. Did you talk to the victim?
Should you set September?
Yeah, just have a seat for a moment over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So this is recalling people versus James Crowley and
Good morning, Your Honor.
Hi, Mr.
James Kazicki on behalf of Mr. Crawley. Prosecutor is asking for an adjournment, Your Honor. So we will stipulate to that.
So I don't have a problem with that, but there's the victim is in the courtroom and she said something about a violation of the bond conditions. So we need to address that.
Your Honor, the report that's in the file indicates that Child Protective Services contacted her. I don't think that'd be considered a bond violation, Your Honor. He's got a right to notify proper authorities if he believes it's in the best interest of the children and so on. So I would ask the court just to continue the personal bond. He's aware that neither he nor any other person can have contact with the victim in this case.
Your Honor, the bond violation allegation in this case is not regarding CPS. It is regarding a third-party contact that was allegedly made by Mr. Crowley to a Ms. Shiloh Hickey, allegedly telling her that to talk to the complaining witness and tell her that he will come after her. And both the complaining witness and Ms. Hickey are here today.
Your Honor, we asked for a hearing on that. That's the first that I'm getting facts concerning that violation.
May I speak on that in defense right now?
No, don't speak, Mr. Crowley. Don't speak.
Well, I'm honest. I'm honest. I ain't got nothing to hide.
Mr. Crowley, I'm advising you as your attorney because anything you say can be used against you.
I'll say the same thing.
I'm asking for Mr. Crowley. Your Honor, can I go back in a breakout room, Mr. Crowley?
Yes, I'll put him.
Yeah,
I'll
you want to go into a breakout room, Mr. Gazicki, with Mr. Crowley?
Yes,
Yeah,
just for a
I
moment.
have some
Yes.
information my attorney might like to know.
Yeah,
we
just
can
hit the
put-
button to go in the breakout room.
Sure. All right, I guess we'll go back then to Crowley. And
Yes, Your Honor.
so,
We're ready.
yeah, Mr. Gazicki, are we having a hearing on the bond violation? Is that where we're going?
Your Honor,
with
we'd
it?
have to. I'd like this third party to come in and testify. Mr. Crowley did not authorize anyone to talk on his behalf. This is a blatant accusation. As the court noticed in the file, you got a case here where the victim's upset because Child Protective Services contacted her. So I would like definitely a hearing on this, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, a report was made and I did request that it get sent into the court, although I'm not sure if it was.
Well, there's something about the contact with Child Protective Services, but I think, is there also an allegation that third party was asked to, through Mr. Crowley, to make contact with the victim?
Yes, Your Honor, there is. And again, I did advise the complaining witness to make a report. I am aware that she did, but I don't believe it was sent into the court, although I did request it.
Is the third party here today?
Yes.
Do we want to take testimony on that? Where do you want to go?
We are ready to do that if that's what the court.
So the third party is here, Mr. Gazicki and Mr. Crowley, and the prosecutor is prepared to move forward with this.
There is the third party here?
Yes.
The third party? Well, if the court wants to do the hearing, we'll do the hearing.
Well, I think
I
we
don't know if you
should.
need Mr. Crowley in person or we're going to do it by Zoom or what.
Well, I mean, we could do it later this morning if Mr. Crowley wants to come into court.
I'm in Port Huron, Michigan, Your Honor.
Well, it's important. I think we address this today.
Well, we can do it right now. If you feel jail or anything is the best place for me, really, Your Honor, I'll come in. I'll uphold my word.
All right, well, let's.
Because I didn't do this, and I want my name cleared. This shit's retaliation. I want it dismissed. But hey, okay.
All right, so yeah, let's hear from the witness then.
Would you like to start now?
The third party, yeah.
Okay, so the people call Ms. Shiloh Hickey.
want her to witness.
Yeah, up here. Hi, what's your name, ma'am?
Shiloh Hickey,
All right, can you spell that for me?
SHYLOHICKEY.
SHYLO,
Yes, yes.
and your last name?
Hickey, HICKEY.
All right. So you want to raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm testimony you're about to provide today will be truthful?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Gazicki, can you see the witness? You want to come in the courtroom or?
Yeah, I'll come in the courtroom, Your Honor.
All right.
Get up. What's up? Our cousin Shiloh is in court testifying against me right now, standing outside the council. I want to live with me.
All right, yeah, your witness.
Right, could you please state your name again for the record?
Shiloh Hickey?
Ms. Hickey, do you know a man by the name of James Crowley?
Yes,
And do you see him today here in the courtroom or on Zoom today?
on them.
Okay, and let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant. And did you make contact with Mr. Crowley recently?
Yes,
Do you recall what day that happened on?
depending on which one. The day of the incident of which he asked me was the 18th of March, this
Okay.
month.
And what
What
city?
day was it?
The 18th.
Okay.
The only reason why I know the date exactly was I was supposed to take my brother to take his car into the shop and I didn't make it, but I still ended up coming by his house the same day.
And Ms. Hickey, so allow me to ask you the questions and answer the questions that I asked. So it happened on the 18th of March. Where were you on that day?
At my brother's house in Romulus.
Okay, and is that in the county of Wayne?
Yes,
And what did Mr. Crowley tell you when you made contact with him?
we were talking about how he was having problems with Jen and that they were going to court. And we started talking more and he's like, yeah, I need this case dismissed. He's like, I need you to do me a favor. He's like, I need you to do whatever it takes necessary to get it dismissed. I was like,
And then, so you said Jen. Can you tell me who you mean when you say Jen?
Jennifer Ashby or Craven or whichever last name that goes by on like paper,
And what did he tell you next?
just to do whatever it took to get the case dropped. He's like, but I don't want any details on it.
And what did he say after that?
He's like, just let me know. That's it. And expecting me to take that as it was.
And did he advise you to speak to Miss Jennifer Ashby?
Yeah, either that or to get one of my friends to do it so that way he couldn't be connected because I'm his cousin.
How, and what did he tell you? And how did he tell you to make contact with her
To go up to her job,
and do what?
get her to drop the case, whatever means necessary.
And did you do anything after that?
No.
And did you ever make contact with Miss Ashby after that?
Yes, on the 24th of March to warn her about what was going on.
Okay, and what did you tell her?
That Jimmy asked me to do whatever was necessary to get her to drop the case and that I was worried about her and that she should definitely be looking over her shoulder because he's having a mental breakdown and I don't know what's wrong with him.
Okay, and just to clarify, where did you make contact with her?
I tried to go to her job and she didn't answer and then I contacted her on the phone and called her. I didn't think that she'd answer my phone at first, that's why I went to her job. Because everything that was going on and with me being Jimmy's cousin.
Okay, and let me stop you there. Did you only make contact with her by phone or?
I didn't see her at her job, no, I made contact with her over the phone.
Judge, the people are satisfied. So we would ask that you think and excuse this witness.
Yeah, Mr. Gazicki.
I'd like to ask some questions.
Oh, I didn't see him in here, sorry.
Snuck in on us.
Okay, Miss, your last name is Hicks?
Hickey.
Hickey?
Mhm.
Okay, and you stated that back on the 18th, you were at your brother's house
Correct.
with Mr. Crowley there?
Correct.
Yeah, well, who's your brother?
Casey Hickey.
Do you know if there's any kind of court proceedings taking place between your brother, yourself, and Mr. Crowley?
Nothing to do with myself, but I have no idea between the two of them.
All right. And you said on the 18th that when you were talking to Crowley, Mr. Crowley stated that he wants to get this case resolved, whatever it takes, right? Correct? Did he say anything else?
No, just said to do whatever it takes necessary.
Right. He didn't say anything that he's gonna shoot anybody or hurt anybody or anything like that, right?
He has a history of.
No, did he say anything about,
Incriminating himself? No, thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate that.
so that's all he made a statement that,
Asking me to do whatever it took necessary to get her to drop the case.
Mhm.
Are we living in reality?
so you waited, you're worried about, was it Miss Ashby?
Yes.
And
more
and you
worried for
waited
his
6
son.
days to tell her?
When he popped his lid and went nuts, yes. I didn't think he would actually
Well, no.
do something.
This happened on the 18th, you had a discussion.
Correct.
And then on the 24th is when you said this to,
Yes, because I knew he finally lost it and I was worried for her.
and one more time, I want to ask you, you don't know of any kind of criminal complaints being made by your brother or against your brother with Mr. Crowley?
Yes, criminal complaint, but not oral.
What criminal complaint?
They got into it and got into an argument,
And when was that?
the 24th,
The 24th.
correct. It's not that,
So on the 24th, this is when you decide to tell
yes. because
Ms. Ashby, but prior to that, you didn't think nothing of it, right?
Yeah, because I didn't.
I got no further questions.
No, we're not doing that.
I just want to speak first.
No.
Mr. Crowley, please, Mr. Crowley is recording with his phone on Zoom. I don't know what the intent is behind that. It's already recorded. We are, again.
I'm gonna clarify what I said.
Just wait till you spoke, please.
Mr. Crawley, are you
Nice meeting you,
recording
Clay.
this? You're muted, Mr. Crawley. Mr. Crawley, you're muted.
No, I'm home alone in my bedroom.
Right, that's why you
Have
said.
you been
you didn't like that.
recording this?
No,
this-
I have not been recording.
Did
I've
you
not
have
been
your
sitting
phone?
here. No, yeah,
Did
my
you-
brother, yeah, my brother, yep. Is that against, I hope that's not against the law or anything. I did, my brother was in here. Hang on, I'm not lying about nothing. He did have he had his phone out and was recording. I did not. He said he's apologizing. I didn't notice he was there behind me. He probably had my best interest in mind, but we'll destroy it right now.
Okay, so.
Sorry
yeah,
about that. No.
What's your brother's name in case they want to prosecute your brother for doing that?
Oh my God. Well, can I take full responsibility, Your Honor?
You know, well, what's your brother's name, Mr. Crowley?
His name is Lee Evans.
Who's with you and what's his name?
Lee Evans Jr. That's just
Ray?
that's it.
Ray Evans Jr.?
No, Lee Evans. Lee Evans Jr. And let me take full responsibility for this, Your Honor.
So, all right, Mr. Crowley. All right,
'Cause
so
I'm
that video, go ahead, Mr. Did you want to say anything about the alleged video?
Yeah, can we?
Your Honor, are you speaking to me?
Yes.
I did just see in the Zoom right now on the camera, there was a phone on his screen and it appeared like he was recording. Again, given the allegations in this bond violation, it does appear to be that you intimidate people trying to record them. I don't know for what reason, but again, these victims are in fear.
All right, so, yeah, you need to delete that recording. Your
All
brother
right, we'll
needs
make sure. Yeah, we'll give it up. We'll let a tech prove that it wasn't copied or everything. We'll bring in whoever we need to bring in to prove that we're honorable people over here. Lily, stop it.
All right.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'm sorry for that in any way. I mean, no disrespect to the court, Your Honor, or to the people.
You not understand how that could be considered intimidating?
No, I absolutely, yes, I do. I definitely do. I'm in my own room. You know, I don't mean to create intimidating. I mean, you know, that is my family.
You understand that this is a domestic violence charge, which is by its nature intimidating charge.
Your Honor.
And that behavior just is consistent with, you know, the charge.
Well, I'm sorry to even give that propriety. The impropriety of that alone, I apologize for. But I'm scared to death. That's a lie. And
You
my
and your
cousin is
brother
lying on me.
consider, could I stop you for a moment? Would you and your brother consider standing in the
I'll take a
courtroom?
polygraph, will you?
Would
What,
you
right
and your
now?
brother, would you and your brother consider standing in the courtroom videotaping a witness appropriate?
Well, yeah, I would, because I believe
You
that
would?
any evidence,
All
yeah,
right.
because
You
anything,
Would you like someone videotaping your testimony while you were in the courtroom?
yes, I would allow that.
All right, so that's a total misunderstanding. You cannot do that. That's considered very intimidating. You
And I
cannot do
apologize
that
to
without the authority, and you can't do it without the authority of the court. You understand
okay.
that?
I do, and nothing like that will
to
ever
me
happen.
would be common sense, and you're basically in a courtroom. Although we're allowing you to do this remotely, you are basically in the courtroom, and your behavior needs to comply with courtroom behavior and decorum. And that
Yes,
means
Your Honor.
not walking around when you're talking. It means
Yes, Your Honor.
standing still, and it means not recording unless you're given permission to record.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so anything further with the witness?
Yes, just a brief redirect.
Yes.
So on cross examination, you had said something about an incident involving your brother and Mr. Crowley. I wanted to clarify, what date did that happen on?
The 24th. Now, when that happened.
I want to ask the questions. Prior to that, you had indicated you first made contact on March 18th with Mr. Crowley. Why was he at your brother's house that day, if you know?
Because he was, he had his stuff there and he had been staying there because the domestic violence dispute between him and Jet.
And then an incident had happened between him and your brother on the 24th. Which was after
Correct.
the 18th.
He had, I'm assuming, a mental breakdown, broke down my brother's door at 5 o'clock in the morning, and my brother drew a pistol on him, and then they proceeded to have a fist fight. So that had, over Jennifer. He accused my brother or one of his friends of sleeping with Jen, and then caused a big argument and a big fight.
How is
No
this
further
relevant?
questions, Your Honor. No further questions, Your Honor.
I got a follow-up question.
Sure.
Where did this take place at?
My brother's house,
Where's that?
Romulus.
And he
then I
pulled a
feared
pistol,
for
he
Jen,
pulled a
and so I
pistol.
went
Ma'am,
to
would you
her.
answer my question, please? Your brother pulled a pistol on Mr. Crowley.
Right, after being wolfed out the door.
And you, Your Honor, would you
answering
instruct
your
the witness?
Yeah, so, all right. Ms. Hickey,
I'm answering the question.
all right, but we don't argue.
I'm not arguing, I'm telling you.
You're arguing with me.
Let the judge-
You are arguing with me right now. Okay? And I know this is an intimidating situation, and I know it's uncomfortable, the fact that you're in the middle of this. But the fact is the way this, we can only record one person talking at a time. And the procedure that is used in court is question and answer. Okay, not question and argue. Question, answer best of your ability, okay? Don't speak over him and don't argue with him. And if you can't answer the question, say you can't answer the question. But we can't have you arguing, and we can't have you both talking at the same time, okay? All right.
And on that date with your brother, You indicated that Mr. Crowley destroyed some of your brother's property.
He broke down the door.
Yeah. And there's no criminal charges emanating out of that incident.
Objection, Your Honor. It's not relevant at this
Oh,
time.
it's very relevant to the credibility of this witness, because Your Honor, first of all, if I may, they have a conversation on the 18th. She waits 6 days before she talks to the complainant in this case, but she doesn't do it because of concern. Apparently, Mr. Crowley and her brother get into an argument, so this is in retaliation of whatever happened there. And there's a lot to that incident. You got one person pulling a pistol and another person supposedly breaking a door.
I'll let
I don't
you
know what
answer
happened
the
there.
question. Remember the question?
No, but I.
Al will rule the object. Question is there a criminal case pending in Romulus over this?
Not that I'm aware of, no, it was dropped.
I have no further question, Your Honor.
I have a question.
Well,
You guys
don't
keep-
have to ask. You're not asking questions.
Well, I have something to say then. You guys keep saying that this
Objection,
is
Your Honor,
retaliation.
to the
Boy,
narrative.
yeah,
It's not.
I'm not sure.
I thought he was crazy enough to do that to my brother. What do you
You
think
know,
I thought?
we don't want your opinion, really. I mean, we're trying to deal with facts, okay?
I'm telling you facts. I will take a polygraph.
All right, but the prosecutor, if you have any more questions. If she doesn't have any questions, I'm gonna have you step down.
Just a couple. I can
Yeah.
just get this over with. So, on the day that the incident happened with your brother, why did you decide to talk to Ms. Ashby?
Because I was afraid for her.
Did something happen on that day that made you more concerned?
Because when I got there, everything in my brother's cash and otherwise was gone, and I had a feeling he was running. So my first thought was he was gonna do something to Jen because there's no one fucking there to stop him now.
And then after that, did you go to Ms. Ashby to speak to her?
Yes, I went to her job to try to find her, to warn her what's going on.
No further questions.
All right, anything further?
No, yeah.
All right, thanks for coming
Can we
in.
just ask that you
Appreciate
can
that.
excuse this witness?
You can step down. Okay. All right, well then, this is regarding the bond violation. Did you want to have any further argument on this testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. First, the complaining witness in this case is in a lot of fear of what's been going on after this incident date that we are here for. The witness testified today that the defendant had told her to tell the complaining witness to drop the charges on this case. An incident had occurred and she became more concerned and she went out to tell Ms. Ashby. And now Ms. Ashby is in a lot of fear. This goes against the third party provision in the no contact order, which says that the defendant cannot have third parties reach out to the complaining witness to ask them to drop the charges. And we would ask that you find the defendant guilty of this bond violation.
All right, yeah, Mr. Gazicki, any response?
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, as I indicated before, and it's evident in the file, that the victim or complainant in this case complained about Mr. Crowley contacting CPS. All right. Now we got a situation here where a witness, Ms. Hickey, comes in here and testifies that on the 18th they have a conversation. Nothing is done on that. And now she indicates, she made her statement on what was, transpired on that day. Nothing is said. But back on later on the 24th, her brother and Mr. Crowley get into some sort of situation, and out of retaliation, this is all of a sudden now, how can I get even? She goes running to the complainant in this case, saying, oh, he said this, he said that. Your Honor, the witness's demeanor on here sounds like a person that is, in my opinion, very vindictive. I asked a question, but she had to have her own say. Your Honor spoke to her, she had to have her own say. This is a woman that came forward. This is a woman that came forward, like I said, just out of retaliation of what transpired between her brother and Mr. Crowley. And if this was such a big concern or something, and if what she says is true, I can't see a reasonable person waiting 6 days to tell the complainant in the case. So I would ask the court not to violate the bond conditions and just let him remain on personal bond.
Any response or?
Yes, Your Honor. The incident that happened between the witness's brother and the defendant is only relevant for the reason that after it had happened, she had reason to believe that the defendant would do something to the complaining witness. He had advised her prior to that date to tell the complaining witness to drop the charges. And when the second incident with her brother had occurred, that is what placed her in fear for the complaining witness's life, which led her to speak to her. And I also want to remind the court, I mean, what just happened in court today with the seemingly intimidating act that the defendant has done. The complaining witness here and the two other people that she brought with her today are in a lot of fear of the defendant. It's very clear that he seems to be the vindictive one, the intimidating one. And again, we would just ask this court if I can guilty.
All right, so, no, we're not, no, Mr. Crowley, we're not, I don't know, if the attorney wants to call you as a witness, Mr. Gazicki?
We're good.
He's not calling you as a witness, and so I'm not, you've got an attorney to argue for you. All right, so, yeah, why the witness? The burden of proof is on this a preponderance of the evidence. And the witness was credible. Date and time and location of the discussion regarding with Mr. Crowley indicating do whatever you need to do to get the case dismissed. I believe that statement was made, and that would be a clear violation of the bond. Why she didn't notify the victim immediately, I don't know. There could be multiple reasons. I mean, sometimes people are asked to do things and they make their own decision and say, I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it, but I'm not going to get involved any further. You know, she could just say, listen, I'm not going to do that and let it go at that. Maybe, but I'm not going to second guess why she may or may not have done it sooner. But I believe that her testimony was truthful, and by a preponderance of the evidence, I find a bond violation, a serious bond violation, Mr. Crowley. This case is going from bad to worse for you. You need to let it run its course and follow the court's orders, and that's extremely important. Asking a third party to intimidate a victim is totally in violation of the bond, in my opinion.
I'm not guilty of that, and I didn't ask her to do that.
I hear what you're saying, and I've ruled differently. All right, so any recommendations?
Your Honor, I would not, I'm no.
Mr. Crowley, quiet.
Your Honor, just that the bond be revoked.
So,
Your Honor, if I may address that, I disagree with it, obviously. I mean, this is something, you know, like I said, six days she waits. You know, they may have had a conversation that, hey, you know, whatever it takes, I want to get this done. But you know, he didn't tell her, go over there, you know, slit her throat, put a gun to her head and all this kind of stuff. Nothing like that. I would ask the court, just in this case, Mr. Crowley is well aware that he's got to watch who he talks to, what he says, and so on. You know, and again, this matter is being adjourned instead of being resolved today or going toward a resolution today. It's being adjourned today because the prosecutor wants to adjourn it. So, you know, this is all a disadvantage to my client, Your Honor, and I'd ask the court not to revoke them.
yeah, all right, so I am going to revoke the bond. I consider that a serious bond violation. I'm going to set another bond. I'm revoking the $2,000 personal bond and setting the bond at 10% of $7,000. That's going to have to be posted within 24 hours, Mr. Crowley. If you're unable to post it, you need to turn yourself into the Taylor Police Department.
So I need
That's
$700 in 24 hours.
That's correct, Mr. Crowley. If you can't pay it, then you need to turn yourself into the Taylor Police Department within 24 hours.
Where do I pay it at?
It come to the district court, the Taylor District Court, and have that paid.
Your Honor, will you give me 48 hours and I'll have it paid?
No, I'm not gonna give you 48. I'm giving you 24.
All right, then, all right, I'll pay it, or I'll turn it in, or I'll turn myself in.
Same bond conditions as stated, no contact, direct or indirect, and that
Your
means
Honor,
social media or, I'm not trying to argue with you, I'm just and you know.
I get it, yes, sir.
You understand the bond conditions and
Yes, sir.
being
Yes, Your Honor,
reinforced, so you have a little more skin in the game if you decide to violate.
No, I'm not violating anything. This is all made up. I'm smart enough not to put myself in peril. I want the court to know that. I am smart enough, I'm disciplined enough not to put myself in, I know better. I would not put myself at risk for jail time. Period.
All right. All right, anything else?
Nope, I'm good, Your Honor. I'm gonna go get this money.
All right, good deal. Thank you. And you'll be notified of the pretrial date.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Your Honor. Is this over?
You're free to hang up, Mr. Crowley.
Yes, sir, you're free to hang up.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Thanks.
That's okay. Thank you.
All right.